Most of what we hear about child abuse involves badly beaten infants or young children, horror stories that make the headlines. But the abused child often becomes the abused teenager. In fact, battered and neglected teens make up about 15% of the overall abuse pattern. Now, most teens cope with this abuse by either suffering through it or running away. But this is the story of one teenager who did something different about it, something that could benefit other teens in similar situations.
Lisa Hutchinson is 16 years old, pregnant, but living at home in Biloxi, Mississippi, until she and her fiancé can afford to get married. Lisa has lived with being beaten most of her life. But things are better for Lisa now, thanks to her own initiative and a lot of hard work by herself, her father Noah, her mother, and her sister Jan. For about 2 years now, Lisa's parents have been getting help through a group called Parents Anonymous, or PA. It's tough to talk about, but they decided to drop their anonymity and share their story with 30 Minutes in hopes other families will be inspired to try to work things out.
Did the problem start when the kids were going through adolescence, or what was it earlier than that?
No, the roots of it were earlier. It's been, for Lisa, it was 14 years of more or less hell, of being afraid, hey, the next minute or the next day, Daddy may hit me.
Lisa, would you agree with what your dad said?
Yeah.
Were you abused when you were a young person?
Yes.
How does that carry over?
Roughly 90% of abused children become abusive parents. The only experience you got to fall back on is the way you was raised, which is, hey, Mama and Daddy whipped me, so that's the way I'm supposed to raise mine. Well, times have changed. It was not good then, but that's all we had to live on.
When these incidents would be going on in the family, how did you feel about it?
I was scared. I really didn't know what to do.
How did you cope with it?
I didn't really, until we started going, to the PA group, And I've learned a lot from that, but right at first I didn't even want to go. Because I didn't want anybody, telling me how to raise my kids, But after I went, I'm glad that I did. There's other couples that has the same problems too, and I have them I can talk to.
You mentioned that about 90% of abused children then become themselves abusing parents. Do you have any fears that that might happen to your own children?
Yes, I do, and this is one reason why I'm so much in favor of the teen group. Through this type of program, we can break this chain of child abuse.
After her father had been in Parents Anonymous for about a year, Lisa began to notice the positive changes in their relationship. She thought she could benefit from a similar group, but there wasn't one for teenagers. She shared her idea with her girlfriend Jamie and her sister Jan, herself a victim of abuse. They took their problem to a social worker, Neil Brennicky, and asked him to help them form some kind of self-help group for teens along the lines of the Parents Anonymous groups. Soon, they and other teens with similar problems were meeting once a week, guided by Brennicky and another social worker, Janine Atkinson.
Some of you have come through some pretty hairy times. Some of you have had physical abuse. Some of you had neglect. And I've also seen a lot of change in the past year. And I think one part of it was sharing with each other where you've come from. What was the toughest thing you had to do or talk about being beaten?
Let people know my dad does that kind of stuff, or he did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He'd really hurt me.
When you say he really hurt you, and he left marks on you?
Yeah.
On your back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty scary thing, huh? Yeah. I couldn't fight back.
Right. Jamie, did you know about this?
She told me about this, and then she lifted her shirt up and showed me.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was cry, because it hurt me. It did.
Yeah.
It hurt me bad. It felt like it happened to me.
That's a strong feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Often sharing bitter memories at the group sessions is an emotionally painful experience.
What kind of parents do this to their kids?
I don't know that you can draw any one picture of what kind of parents. I think that it's a cross-section of a country, different professions, different skills, different educational levels. Any parent can become an abusing parent.
Brennicke says teen abuse is much deeper than just beatings.
There is sexual abuse. There is the physical abuse, which is where the child is battered black and blue. There's emotional abuse, where a child's self-esteem or a teen's self-esteem is not counted. Abuse or neglect doesn't start overnight. Usually the abused teen or the neglected teen was also the abused child or the neglected child.
How does the abuse pattern break down as far as boys and girls is concerned?
The authorities in the profession feel that abuse among boys of the teen years is as strong or as much as with the girls. Right now, the girls are coming forward and are dealing with being abused more than the boys. It's harder for a male in our society to admit that he's being beaten or continually hollered at and put down at home, because we in America still believe the male has to be the strong one, not weak, emotionally, physically, or psychologically.
What should the teenager do if he finds himself or herself the victim of abuse, or what does he do in that case?
He can call Parents Anonymous in California. They have a toll-free number that they can call, and someone at the staff office in California can give them some ideas who to contact, or they can talk to the social workers in the community, health departments and mental health departments, and can give direction. Again, school counselors are an excellent contact. Lisa, how did you come to talk to somebody about this other than your friends?
I got tired of, being beat around, pushed around, so I said, this is it. It's got to stop.
Yeah.
So he killed somebody.
Part of it's just knowing that you're not alone in it. And maybe some other people know exactly how you feel, because they've gone through it too.
Okay, where's Mom and Daddy? Mom and Daddy, y'all...
The techniques used to help the kids learn how to get along better with their parents include role-playing, acting out the kinds of family situations that often lead to anger and beatings.
Okay, kids, it's 8:30. It's time to go to bed.
Wizard of Oz is G-rated program.
I said it's 8:30 and it's time to go to bed. You got to...
8:30 isn't too late.
Father! Wait till I get my hand on your little honey.
And then they discuss how it could have been handled better.
When you're considered about what's going on, in other words, when your folks come to you and consider where you're at and what you want to do, and when they don't, when they do things whether you want to do them or not.
You got a nice shirt on.
Because these kids often have low levels of self-esteem, each session ends with a round of warm fuzzies.
You're a very good friend and I like you a lot. I'm glad you could be here too.
The support you've given to the other group members means a lot to me.
Everyone gets to sit in the center and get a small compliment from each of the
You got
others.
real pretty eyes. And I think it means a lot to have your, bubbly stuff in the group.
You may have to add some water to it, too.
Sharing experiences in the teen group helps make things better, and sharing family experiences is an important part of the process, too.
Put that crab seasoning and seafood seasoning in there. Brings out the real good taste in it. Kind of, they say, make you slap your brains out with your tongue. I know how much better off I am now that I have learned a way and found places where there's help available. It's helped the family so much.
Well, before, I was relieved to go to school, which is very unusual. And I was scared to come home, and now I'm still glad to go to school because I got a lot of friends there, but I'm relieved to come home because I know it's not going to happen no more.
Although the Hutchinson family has come a long way toward solving their problems, Noah still struggles against setbacks from time to time.
I still have hard times and still lose my cool, but I don't turn and take it out on them, so I find somewhere else to go.
I feel good. I mean, I've changed a lot. Everybody's changed in my family, and it's all for the good, not the bad. And I like it. It's a whole lot better. Get along better, we can talk. I don't have to be afraid anymore when I get in trouble that my dad's going to hit me. He just talks to me. And it helps.
Often, abused and battered teens feel alone, outcast, with nowhere to turn. But the way Lisa Hutchinson and the kids in Biloxi are tackling their problems seems to offer hope. And because of the success of the Biloxi Kids group, first of its kind, Parents Anonymous is now sponsoring other teen groups around the country.